Hi everybody, it's me again. Nice to see you all. Today we're doing our tour at Bunnell Wines. So we are in the wine warehouse district of Woodinville, which is a little bit north of kind of where Hollywood Hill Schoolhouse and all this is, but there are a ton of wineries up here. And I have a great relationship with Bunnell Wines, and so they let me have my art on display here, and I love their wine, and so that's where we're headed in today. So this is what they look like from the outside if you happen to come to the warehouse district. And we're gonna head on in. I got a mask up for safety to go in, so sorry about that, but here we go. Oops. So here we are in Bunnell Winery. This is Erica. Say hi, Erica.
Hi.
And this is a glass of my favorite Bunnell wine.
Excuse me.
Too bad. It's the Leah, which I happen to really, really like. Okay, so about maybe 3 years ago, I think it was, I had a show here through the Woodinville Arts Alliance, and I immediately became friends with Ron Bunnell, who is the winemaker. And he loved my art, and I love his wine, and so we decided to make my show permanent. So they let me display my art here, and it's just been a great relationship. So you can see behind the bar, there's several of my pieces of art.
Oh, I think this is our, we've got a restoration coming in.
And over here is kind of a larger gallery area. I'm not going to talk about this tonight. You're just going to have to come in sometime and see it all live.
Hi, how are you? Good, I am. Excellent.
We're in the tasting room. They have tastings going on, so that's what's going on over here. But tonight, I have a special deal for you, like I did last time. Hi, I'm doing a live Instagram.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thanks.
All
So it's a wine themed, obviously. I love painting animals, but I also love painting wine themed paintings. And so my special offer for this evening are limited edition prints. So they're all prints, they're 8x10, and they're signed. There's only going to be 25 of each print. They come in this little envelope with a little certificate of authenticity with the number. They're not framed, but I just put it in a frame so you can see. It's super easy. You just pop it in any frame from anywhere, and you've got a beautiful piece of art that's signed that is, very affordable, honestly. This first painting I actually painted when I went over to Prosser. If you don't know, Bunnell Winery has a restaurant over there called Wine O'Clock and a wine tasting room. And I sat out in their grotto actually on a really beautiful day with Ron, and this is the painting I did over there, and it's now hanging over in Wine O'Clock, the restaurant, but you can buy a print of it because the painting's gone. And then this one is just inspired by, obviously, the lushness of grapes on the vine. It can kind of take you wherever you want to go. For me, I was inspired by walking through the vineyards in Italy. And also this one will be the print, will be 8x10. And then this is a local favorite. It's the bartender. Back in the day when we could go out to eat and sit at the bar, I loved sitting at the bar at the tavern down there in Woodinville. And this is the bartender that worked there. This was actually my spot where I like to sit. And one day I was there and I was like, this would be such a pretty painting. And so I painted it. Again, this painting's been sold, but your deal is 8x10, limited edition prints. There's only 25 of each. They're only $100. And like I said, they come with a certificate of authenticity. They're signed, ready to go. You pop them in a frame. And if you just click the link in my bio, it'll take you to the spot on my website, which is kind of hidden from everybody else, where you can purchase these. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of the big picture for today, but now I'm going to actually do a little demo. It's really hard to paint a painting in 20 minutes, but we're going to go do, since I like painting wine, etc., we're going to do a little demo. And Erica's going to say hi. Say hi, Erica.
Hi. What am I?
You're saying hi.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to drink my wine while I paint. Bye, ladies. Sorry.
Hello.
I'm probably not going to talk as much while I do this, so if you have questions, you can type them in the comment section, and they should show up, and then you can read them to me, and I can answer them. But this is kind of how I do it. Normally I paint on white or red, but today I decided to paint on a red background just because it kind of takes me where I want to go faster. And this is the setup here. It's Bunnell wine. I'm sitting right here at the bar at the winery, and I'm going to paint a bottle of their Cab Sauv. This is my palette here. Super simple palette, and I always kind of use the same colors, which I learned from Sherry Christensen and Pam Ingalls. It's white, cad yellow, medium, orange, red. That's my medium. These are two browns, a burnt umber and a transparent oxide red. Then there's a alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, or ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and that's it. And I kind of mix up things ahead of time just so you have enough time to maybe kind of get a paint going. So I'm going to paint now. Okay? Okay. And like I said, if you have questions, go ahead and ask, but I'm going to kind of get in a little bit of a zone maybe. So the first thing, the way I learned, is the first thing you always paint are the shadows and the dark colors. So I kind of just did a really, really rough, loose drawing of it, but it's super rough. And it's a little hard because normally I'd have like a light pointing on it, and I don't really now, so I have to kind of figure out where the light's going myself.
Two cows. Is there any gluten problem? Any olives? Okay. Excellent. I'll be right back.
I'm just kind of putting in, this is the wine bar, obviously. This is kind of just background, but I'm just kind of putting that in to get it going. Oh. Can you not hear me? And I am just putting in.
Are you okay with starting this stream, or do you want to start?
It's a style of painting I like. It's called Russian Post-Impressionism. And it's a la prima, so it's wet on wet. I'm not doing the best job right now, but kind of just putting in the background. And I'm doing this super fast, like obviously when I'm in my studio. I'm doing this super fast. When I'm in my studio, I don't paint this fast. Okay. So, if you want to know about Ron and I, we obviously met through here, and then I went over to Prosner, which is where Wine O'Clock is located, and his home along the river. Would that be the Yakima River over there? And I spent a weekend there. That's when I painted Saturday afternoon, sitting there in the grotto. And we just became good friends. And I think wine and art kind of go nicely together. So that started our relationship. And like I said, he was nice enough to let me keep my art here. So whenever I have a new painting, if you want to see it in person, you can obviously come to my studio. You see my studio. But at the same time, you can just come in here and see it in person, and you can have some great wine. Ron, I don't have to tell you about himself, his background himself, but I think he's one of the best winemakers in the state, to be honest. And I don't say that just because they let me keep my wine here. I say it because it's really, really good wine. And if you go over to Prosser's right, yeah. They have a restaurant there too called Wine O'Clock. So you not only can wine taste, but you can also.
If it's a class.
And this tasting room, as I said, is in here in Woodinville. Sorry. We're over here in the warehouse district, which is kind of north of Woodinville, I guess. And there's definitely more tasting rooms over here than there are kind of over by Hollywood Hill. But it's also nice because there's parking over here, and parking at Hollywood Hill has gotten really crazy lately. So I'm still just kind of putting in what I'm calling my shadow colors. Obviously I'm doing this one really quick today, but you can kind of get an idea of how it comes together. I love painting still lives. That's how I first started painting with still. Can you hear me? I started painting still lives, and I still love doing them. There's just something about them. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I've kind of migrated lately. I kind of went through a phase where I was painting scenes of Italy, because I used to go there every fall and paint. But in between all of that, I've kind of kept painting still lives too. So I'm going to put a little red in there so it looks like there's a little wine in the bottle. The bottle's so dark you can't really see it. But and if I'm at home, obviously I'm going a lot slower and being a lot more careful. But and so I love painting. I just like painting reflective glass too. I've always liked doing that. So that's kind of a fun part of painting the wine scene, is painting the reflections in the glass. My students I know are watching, and it's like I've told them before. If you want to paint glass, really you just paint the background in and you add a few highlights. And it's kind of hard to do, I know, but it's really all you see on a glass are the, let's see, my brush is dirty, are the highlights. Finding the edge of that. I'm trying to leave this so I can add some highlights on there. This is basically the wine bottle, and that's the wine. That's the glass behind there. The thing I really don't like is this on here. I think it should be a little thicker. So cleaning my brush, this is odorless turpentine. It's called Gamsol. I try not to use a whole lot of it because it's not terribly, I don't know how healthy or unhealthy it is, but I just use a little bit of it, and I clean my brush a lot though. And this over here is, which I learned from Pam Ingalls, it's a medium. It's made by Daniel Smith, oil painting medium. I love it. My students all love it. It just makes the paint dry faster, but it also makes it flow better. Okay, so this is kind of the shadow side of the label. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to come back and work on that. So usually things that are in the shadow are cooler, and things that are in the light are warmer. So even though it's obviously a white label, I'm going to paint this kind of cooler shadow side of it blue. Oh, to reestablish. Okay, so that's kind of the shadows, really rough and quick. Now I'm going to go back in and put some light in. Obviously, the light's coming through the window, so it's coming in this way. And the lighter side will always be a little bit warmer.
What's the difference between warm and cool?
So this is like, well, here, let me, somebody asked what the difference is between warm and cool. Let me get down here to the wood on the table, and you'll get to see it a lot better than with just this blue. And normally I like the light coming in left to right because you kind of, or yeah, left to right because that's the way we read. So I think it kind of works better, but I had to kind of go with what I had here. So you can kind of see already, there's the shadow side, right? And here's the light side, really fast. Okay, somebody wanted to know what warm and cool is. So this is the shadow part of the wood. Basically it's a wood bar. And it's a cooler brown. Cooler as in, not as in temperature-wise, cooler as in, I mean temperature-wise, but temperature-wise is in the temperature of the color. And then we're gonna move over here to the light side. So we're gonna slowly but surely move over the colors that are a little bit warmer. I'm trying not to butcher this, but
That's the Daffamore.
It's just the best cheese ever.
It's like free, but it's not tangy.
How could I get that?
You can get it at Hagen. They have it. Oh,
UFC has it.
so
Grocery stores.
I'm sure that you
Kroger.
we're talking about cheese over here. What kind of cheese do you have here?
It's the Daffamore.
Oh my god, it's so good.
You need some?
No, I don't, but it sounds good.
Yes, you do.
You think I do?
I mean,
Yes.
if you've got a grocery store that's got a good cheese shop, I'm sure you can find it.
It's so good.
So you guys offer pairings with your tastings?
Right now we have cheese and charcuterie plates. They're not specific pairings, but we do choose items on the plate that go very well in highlighting Ron's wines.
And didn't Ron win some awards recently that you would probably know more about than I would?
So we're waiting for Seattle Wine Awards to come out. They should be coming soon. The Wine Press Northwest. I'm trying to think about what did we do. He got a double platinum from Wine Press Northwest on his 2013 vintage of Petite Bec, which is 2/3 Malbec, 1/3 Petite Verdot. He got. I'm testing my memory.
That's okay, sorry. That's fine.
Put me on the spot, Jamie.
It's been a long winter, hasn't it?
So
And tell me about Leah, which is my favorite.
Leah, your all-time favorite.
I don't even know why, but I just like it.
So Leah is our Southern Rum blend. It is named for Ron and Susan's daughter, Amelia. The current vintage right now is our 2016 vintage, which is a pretty even split between the Grenache, Syrah, and the Mourvedre. Probably why you love it.
Probably. All right, sorta. It's fast. This is speed painting. This is not Bob Ross. Well, I think he went slower. I don't know. What do you think?
Are there clouds in that picture?
No, they're not clouds, but thank you.
Happy wine, happy.
How many wineries have you been to today?
Not many.
Not many.
Not enough.
So I'm putting in the light now, kind of migrating it over here into the shadow.
Not the same, but
I don't like that color.
yeah. I did follow up with that. I mean, this is just.
Like I said, normally I spend a lot more time on this, but I think you can kind of see that the light's coming this way and going over into the shadow.
So sometimes when I get a second opinion.
I do something down here. It's got like a double label going.
Yeah, so we change our tasting site every month.
Yeah.
So next weekend being the next
And
round.
you know
it's
this
time to
bottle's a
figure
green
out,
bottle,
What are we gonna
so
pour?
let's make it a little
So
lighter.
we're trying to pick out, and then with that wine club fight, we play some things out of the library, so that the things that we haven't tasted for a little while,
Sure.
and don't really have them right fresh in our memory to know, should this one go first or should that one go first?
Yeah.
So,
A little highlight on the bottle so it shows up a
So
little
my
more.
question
Back
is,
in there.
because I'm a red drinker and she's a white drinker, and I've discovered that Washington is a very red heavy area. So the know I've been in New Zealand. My best friend lives there, so like I know they're more funny. Like what makes Washington more red? And like is Napa or something or other? Like what constitutes those?
Really, it's gonna be the growing climate
Okay.
is what grows best. And you actually hear a fair amount of whites in Washington. We make a fair amount of whites. So we do a Riesling, a Gewürztraminer, Pinot Gris, a Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Aligote. Aligote is,
I'm just trying to make this look a little different, but I don't really want it to stand out too much because it's just the top of the bottle.
a white burgundy grape.
Okay.
So much of the same
This
region
needs to
as
be
Chardonnay.
lighter, obviously.
I call it like the bastard stepchild of Chardonnay.
So it's, if you were to get
I love it already.
if you get a
Sorry,
white,
I'm distracted by their conversation.
Burgundy from the wine shop.
Okay, now I'm gonna come back and just make my wine look a little better
comes from the
shaped.
Burgundy region. Chances are it's Chardonnay and Aligote mixed.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put a little pretty light on my wine.
It's similar to Chardonnay, but it's different. It's got its own personality.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Cool. Okay.
yeah, so we do a fair amount of wines.
If I had more time, I'd make this a lot more light over here now, but I kind of always tend to start dark and then end up adding lighter later. But you can definitely tell where the light's coming from. So that's roughly a bottle, right? Roughly wine.
Well, then there's Viognier and there's Roussanne.
I'm just gonna put a little for fun.
So yeah, there's still a fair amount, but
Well, and
A little more.
found that we're losing all our bias. But you said they have friends that they Albarino, which I'm always a fan of Albarino, but I don't know if they're great.
Now the fun part is the glass, obviously. And that was super fast. Like normally this would take, a while. But I'm just trying to rush through it so you can kind of get a general idea. One thing that Pam taught me too is like
He suggested
making your painting sing, and I didn't understand that for a long time. But it's kind of like with the, oopsie, sorry. It's kind of the way the light dances around. It just it moves your eye around the painting. It's more of an impressionistic style, but it just makes it move and sing more, if that makes sense. Okay. A little lighter. Okay, now you just go pure white. The highlights are white. And I squint, even though it's really impossible in here to see.
I'm from Denver, so.
So,
So I'm a red fan, so like the fact that like
guessing.
seems to be more red is like
right up your alley.
for me, yes.
Uh-huh.
Seems to me like there's a little highlight back here. Oopsie. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting the camera. Sorry, people. The cameraman's gonna quit.
So I think it really depends on, like I said, the climate. If it's a region that's
This highlight got a little big, so I'm gonna try to take it a little smaller.
grapes are gonna pop through.
Oopsie.
So,
Now you see why I have to clean my brush constantly.
Also just depends on the winemaker. Like a lot of winemakers, like there's whites or money makers, so is your rosés. If you're looking at it from like a business logistical standpoint, like some people just don't want to do that. So there's that like personal component that devolves into it.
Yeah.
a little bit of white because
Like
it's,
I'm a winemaker.
it's white because that's,
Yeah.
you don't have to sit on it as long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can bottle it and.
So the idea is just to give the idea of the glass and not to, necessarily paint it all. I was listening to a podcast or something, I can't remember what it was.
So
They
a
say
lot,
the art that people really like the most at museums is the art that kind of leaves. They studied people that went to museums and where they spent the most time.
The more
And they spent the most time looking at art that kind of left a little for the imagination, because that engages the mind more. And like Sherry told me, less is more, so I always am like my mind saying less is more.
Unsealed Cheval.
Don't overpaint
They're
it.
doing a new song. Yeah.
Let the imagination flow a little.
But it's a little.
There's definitely a stem here
warmer down
though.
here.
Okay.
So it's a little
This
harder.
definitely has to be in the middle, right? Pretty close.
Civet sound over here, our side of the mountain.
And then there's definitely a little highlight down here. It's kind of hard for me to reach it here, the way I'm set up. But
So up on Whidbey Island, which is this C-shaped island up here.
switch
there's
this
more
brush.
leaves up
I
there
love
that
these
are
brushes.
growing,
They're made by Rosemary. See, they're
over that
super long.
side.
Not really necessarily for starting a painting, but when you want to come in and put in these super flowy.
What else is up there?
I'm having a hard time
What
reaching
the
this.
white's growing on would be.
Super flowy
Weed,
kind of things at the end. You put a lot of medium on it.
There's a, what's the weed kind of there?
Okay.
But they're
And
around
ones
up
that we
there.
won't remember.
And there
anyway,
probably is a little back to it
And
here
they're
somewhere.
They're great.
I'm sure.
Roughly.
All of these have been.
because they're obscure, and you're just like, what is that? 'Cause it's not like commonly grown, so.
And being like
You see how less is more?
like a white girl who likes to drink wine, like white wines. I was like, oh, Albarino.
Okay,
Like,
there's
what is
definitely
that
some
delicious
bright white
love?
right there.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I'm a fan of this, and I'm like, would never have expected
That's the
to
fun
see
thing
it.
about wine tasting is you just get exposed to so many different things.
Yeah.
White highlight
I just
there.
think your palate changes over time. So like what you did like
Highlight
6
there.
years ago, now you're like, I can't stop drinking it.
Yeah.
And then highlight
And
everything in
6
the
years,
bottle.
6 years from now, you can't stand it.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
Okay,
You'll be drinking reds.
roughly. There you go. How what was that? 20 minutes speed painting?
I've actually really enjoyed red.
20 minutes?
Like tasting
Yeah,
them.
there you go. 20
I don't know
minutes.
that
There's the
it would
beginning
just
of your
drop by, but I have tasted some
wine bottle and wine glass. Partially fueled by lovely Bunnell wine. Can you hear me? So that's it. If anyone has any questions or you want to do one last scoop of the art here, don't forget, click the link in my bio on Instagram and you can have access to those special prints. $100, only $25 each, so don't delay. And then once they're sold out, they're gone forever. And do you want to do one last scoop around here? Or we good? Want to do one last scoop? Okay.
I still like refer back to like when we were doing our
That was fast.
tour stuff. Like we were coming over to
Oh, let's show my news painting really quick.
There's like, yeah,
Want to?
the first time we're like, okay, let's do this, like,
Here's my newest painting.
that we go with it. And then we
It's called Wake Up Call.
compared to the lines.
A rooster, obviously. Thank you for the inspiration, Sherry Christensen. I love this painting. I don't think it's going to last very long. I really love painting animals, honestly. I love painting still lifes, like I said, but there's something about animals and the way they can capture the essence of the moment and just kind of convey a feeling. So there's the newest one. All right, folks.
It's for sale.
Huh?
It's for sale.
Oh, it is for sale. Yeah, all these paintings are here for sale. It's 16 by 20. It's on my website. And if you click the link in my bio, you can also get a coupon for 20% off everything that's on my website right now, which all this is. My newest owl,
I feel like you're doing a lot of it.
which is called Moon Dance.
I'm lucky that I get to, that my training and my wisdom is now moved on.
That's a print of the locals, which is gone now. You want to go look over here real quick? Okay. There's my elk, which I love. His name is Justice. And I painted this during I was watching all the riots, honestly, for the Black Lives Matters. And he just is a sign of strength and beauty and justice. So that's his name. All right, folks. The rest you're gonna have to come in and see yourselves. Time to drink some more wine. Cheers. Happy Friday. Thank you all again for watching. Ciao.
We're just like trying to get like this video. I feel like we just like met some.
Wait, how do you stop it?
Yeah, it's just like me.
Oh, yes.